Welcome to Cosplay Stitch and Seam.
Hello, how are you all doing on this fine
quarantine
day? Days have no meaning.
They really do. Like, I work 2 days on, 2 days off sort of a thing, and so, like, I honestly forgot it was Wednesday. I woke up and I was like, oh, I have to go to work, and then I'm like, no, Wednesday's my day off. I'm okay. So days have definitely lost meaning.
I have no sense of, like, time, and, like, my schedule's, like, super off. It's nutso.
How about you, David?
Well, I still work a 9 to 5, so that's helpful.
Yay.
And occasionally I do have to go into the office, which is frustrating, and it's kind of scary sometimes because of the lack of space that some of my customers work with. So
Fair.
I'm managing as best as I can. I think that Magna is out to get me, though.
Oh, man.
Because not only are we having earthquakes here, which is unprecedented in Utah, or at least in this magnitude, we can't go outside, but we can't stay inside. Also, we had a boil order because a raccoon fell in the water reserve.
Oh, boy. That's super fun.
So
Gross.
Magna's out to get me.
Oh, man. Oh, how many earthquakes have you guys had in just the last couple weeks?
The big ones that are noticeable, I've counted 10, but I'm also really close, so I can feel like the really small ones.
Yeah, I'm like 15 minutes away from you, and I felt most of them. And not the really tiny ones, but I don't know. I think my bed is just sensitive, so when anything jiggles, I'm like, was that an aftershock?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like to play a game of, was that a semi driving by my house, or was that an aftershock? Let's play that game.
Oh, man. So, needless to say, it's been a difficult little haul. I don't think we've done... Well, we did, like, one episode since the quarantine stuff started, or have we not done one since then? I think we've been playing older ones.
We've been playing older ones. We haven't recorded in a little while.
Yeah. So, it's a little surreal.
Yeah.
Should we start with our usual announcements and things?
Let's.
Yeah.
Okay. As always, if you guys want to send us your cosplay horror stories, your stories about good times would be awesome right now, because I know we're all feeling the crunch.
Yeah.
We would love to read those. We would love to share them with others so they can join in your positivity. And you can send those to us at cosplaystitchandseam@gmail.com, or...
You can also fill out the form on cosplaystitchandseam.com on our blog site.
Or you can, and if you just want to join us and be with some other people who are crafting at home or just relaxing at home, we have our Facebook group, which is Cosplay Stitch and Seam. Just remember, there is a Facebook group and there's a Facebook fan page. So if you want to chat with everybody else, join the group. If you just want to follow us for like cool announcements, see what's coming up, you can also follow the page. Cool.
Your Work in Progress Wednesdays!
Yes, we always do Work in Progress Wednesdays, and then we usually have like people asking for advice, or people giving helpful like hints, or just sharing like cool things that they found, or what other cosplayers have done. So it's a really fun community. It has honestly been a bright point in my days lately, because social media has been really hard for me because of my job. I work taking calls for the hearing impaired, and I transcribe them so that the person on the other end can both see and hear on their phone what's being said. So they get captions, basically, the same way you would get closed captioning on a TV. But that also means that, like, 99% of the calls coming through are people calling loved ones, etc., to be panicked about the current pandemic, which, I mean, I don't blame them, but having to hear that day in, day out, and then seeing it on social media, I've been like, oh no! So, I've really loved being able to see everybody's positivity and their crafts and see what people are making and see like people making masks for people who need them and or people that are just going through their fabric stashes and seeing what they can build. Like it's really fun.
It's been really cool to see what people have come up with. I have really enjoyed seeing the progress pictures, seeing the creativity, and just like the wide range of like what people have in their stashes and how creative they get about making something actually work. I love it.
Yeah, it's really cool. I've also noticed like in my crafting that like I've had to go through all of my fabric and things like that and like go, okay, well, what can I make that doesn't require a trip to the store because that's not happening right now. And yeah.
I had to go to the store for one thing, but it's because the workaround for it was just going to take way too long. The spine on the Amaterasu puppet that I'm working on, I want to put a bunch of screws in it, and I realized I hadn't purchased those screws yet, and I had to go to the store anyways because one of my other side projects is I'm making a compost bin.
Oh, nice.
It's going to be really cute. I'll share pictures of it. But my computer's making sound. Sorry, distracted. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go get some pieces of wood for my compost bin. I might as well pick up the screws that I needed. So that was like the one thing I've gone out for. Everything else I've been building from home. I'm actually stuck right now because I'm trying to figure out how to make the joints work on the puppet. It's coming along.
Nice. Yeah, it's been interesting looking at my calendar because usually this is when we announce like, oh, we're going to be at this con and we're going to see these people or going to go out of state and see this. And
that's
now it's
happening.
like, but it's been interesting. Like there's been a lot of people in groups that have stepped up and been like, hey, we're doing an online con or we're teaching online panels and classes and making like mini online cons. So that's been really cool to see people coming together like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I don't have any other major announcements then because they're all kind of up in the air right now. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Like I've seen some people be like, it's genuinely okay to be upset that your conventions are getting canceled. It's okay to feel sad about it. Just please be kind to the staff. Like it's not their fault.
It's not their fault, and it's not an easy decision to make. And
for sure.
This is like the time to be the most understanding that we can be because everyone is stressed. Everyone is like going through things that emotions, feelings of isolation, all these sorts of things. It's a really weird time to be in.
It is.
Even me, like I still go out to one of my jobs once a week, and it's still like really weird for me. Like I've had a couple of days where I'll be like super productive, and then suddenly the next couple of days I'm just a garbage person.
Same. Same.
It's hard trying to tell myself that that's okay. It's okay that I haven't made as much progress on, my puppet as I wanted to. It's really hard to be like, well, this is a time where I should be doing X and Y and Z because I now have the time for it. But I also understand that like my brain, I guess, and my body is freaking out over all of this because this is not the normal.
Right.
It's okay.
I totally feel that. Like today's been my day off and I've been for the last probably 2 or 3 weeks been like, okay, so we're going to get things done. We're going to clean up. We're going to organize these crafts and maybe do a little sewing. And what did I do today instead? I sat around and I played video games and I've been trying to get better about telling myself that's okay because you need that right now. Like when everything else around you is stressful, being creative is one of the hardest things to do. So some people thrive under that kind of pressure and some people don't. And if it is causing you excess stress, like it's okay to like take a beat and do things that are going to make you feel okay.
Well, I'm constantly reminded, like back when I was doing therapy more regularly, my therapist would tell me, like, whatever you do, don't spend a majority of your time in your bedroom, right? Because then it has a harder your body has a harder time understanding that this is the place for you to sleep. Now, some people don't have that luxury, sure, but at the same time, like, I am now spending a lot of my time in my studio where I'm normally editing and we're recording stuff, but now I'm doing calls for work here, and that makes it so that way when 5 o'clock hits, I don't want to edit anymore. And like there's some deadlines that are coming up that I'm gonna have to crunch for, but at the same time, like, you have to understand that sometimes you need to be in a space that's going to be different. Try and move yourself out of your everyday, even if you're going to be sitting there all day long, because if you're sitting in your craft room and you're working, then at 5 o'clock or whenever your shift ends, you're not going to want to continue to be in that room for a little while. So I've gotten a lot of Zelda really done.
Nice.
Because I don't want to be in this room anymore.
Nice. That's a good point, though. As y'all listening may have guessed, that's kind of the theme of our episode is we're just kind of shooting the breeze here, talking about our feelings and what's going on right now, and ways that we are dealing with everything. I don't think we really have a theme for this episode because I think we all just needed to like decompress and talk to other living human beings for a little bit.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So it's been hard. I think we are all lucky enough to have other people in our homes, so we haven't been like having to ride this out by ourselves, but it's still difficult. It's still really hard.
My poor wife must think I'm going nuts because, like, I think I've actually been more social because of self-isolation.
Yeah.
And so I'll come upstairs every now and again like some sort of goblin, like, hey, how's it going? I haven't left that. Like, I think on Saturday I had one recording session, a D&D session, and then I had a remote date night with one of my partners, all on Saturday, like back to back to back. So I didn't leave my studio for 12 hours.
Oh dang.
Hey, you want to make food?
Oh man. Yeah. See, well, my trouble is like, so I don't know if you know this or not, but like when I live stream and I do like live video and like video calls or video chats, it stresses me out like really, really bad.
No.
I can handle it like when we do a stream for one of our shows or like our monthlies, because like I can plan ahead and I know it's coming and I'm like, okay, and I'm with friends and it's a little bit easier. But like everything is now that form of communication and I'm just like, I did not do this well. So that's been fun. That's been fun.
Yeah.
So do you guys have any projects that you're working on? It's okay if you don't. It's okay if the only project is Breath of the Wild.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That kind of has been my project. In the back of my mind, I've been wanting to get back into dice making, and I just keep putting it off. I got brand new molds, and I got a pressure pot, and I've got the whole thing. I'm working on silicone stuff, but I'm having such a hard time getting motivated because I feel like if I have free time, I should be editing. And so the short answer is yes, I have projects, and at the same time, I am trying to make sure that I give myself a lot of space because I'm not handling this well as much as some people probably could be. So I
feel that.
I'm trying to give myself the space that I need, and I'm being vulnerable with my wife when Z's here, and I sit down and I just like, this is how I'm feeling, and I'm doing it better on some days than others, that's for sure. So
good.
Yeah, like I have goals, I have projects. I think self-care right now is a little more important.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I've had a couple of days where like again, like I'll start working on something, I'll feel really productive, but like this whole time I've just felt sluggish. I actually miss my students. Yeah, I actually had a video chat where it was supposed to be like a couple of different classes, but only one kid got on. And I was like, "Aw." But like at the same time, it was just like, it was so nice to see him, and it just made me miss the classroom just all that more. And like, I don't know, it's just, I miss being able to go out and do things, and some days that better than others. And again, it's a lot easier said than done. It's okay to feel that way. It's just really hard to let yourself be okay not being productive, or, you know, like I've had days where I just sit on, we got this chair called the captain seat. I'll tell you why it's called that after. Well, I mean, like in a second. So like I'll sit in that chair and just play video games on the Switch for like a full day. And that's just sometimes what my brain just needs. And the next day I'll feel better or not. You know, sometimes it lasts more than one day, and that's okay. But it's hard telling myself that that's okay, because I'm like, I'm being so lazy. So very lazy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But yeah. I was trying to think of like... Oh, no, go ahead. Tell us why it's called the captain chair.
Okay. It's called the captain seat because my husband and his friends, way back when, attempted to make a hovercraft device, and that was the captain seat for it.
That's awesome.
Nice. So I was trying to think of a nerdy analogy for kind of like how I'm feeling creativity-wise, and the best I could think of was like, you know, in Ocarina of Time, when you have Epona, and you want her to go faster, and you have like 5 carrots at the bottom. But if you use all the carrots, she'll have this burst of speed, but then she'll be like on empty for a while and kind of like trotting along as best she can. And then like if you let it build up again, the carrots get all the way full. But I feel like I get like 1 or 2 carrots and then just back to empty, and 1 or 2 carrots and back to empty again. Because it's just like I will have like feel like I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel, and then I'll get like a little burst of like, oh, I can do a thing. I'm going to do this thing while I feel like doing it. And now I need to like sit and do nothing for a while. And I can do a thing for a little bit. And so it's just recognizing when my brain is like, oh, we feel like doing something. I'm like, okay, I'm going to drop everything and do that right now. So there's that.
I love it.
Are you working on any projects, Pannon?
I was. Let's see. So, you know, I do my dice bags and stuff. I had a whole bunch of people give me wall scrolls, like, right before the stay-at-home stuff started. And so I had a bunch of them, and I cut them all out, so they are cut out. And I started sewing some of them, and I sewed a seam wrong, and I haven't touched any of it since. And I think that was like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, man.
And I was just like, I have to unpick that. And just that one little act of like, I have to unpick that has kept me from touching it at all. Aside from that, I have been playing the Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I am jealous.
I'm thoroughly enjoying.
I got Animal Crossing.
Yay! That one I hear has been really good for people who have been stressed out lately, because it's just like a nice little run your town and plant flowers and relax.
I spent an entire day just picking up weeds.
Nice. Nice. And then my sister actually was really sweet, and she sent me her old DS and 3DS with all these games, because she knows I'm stuck in front of a computer screen like all the time. And was like, here, you can play some of these little handhelds. And so I've been going through like all the little handheld Castlevania games.
Oh, yes, I love the handheld Castlevania game.
I'm on Order of Ecclesia right now, so...
Nice.
And the main character is a girl named Shanoa, and she's super cool, so...
Oh my gosh, Lexus wants to cosplay her.
Oh, nice! She's really cool.
Yeah, Lexi loves Shanoa.
Oh, and then I'm gonna share this just in case anybody wants to play. But I've been playing the new Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. It's called War of the Visions. And I'm gonna read off my friend number here, so if you want to friend me, you can, because I only have like 5 friends. I'm pulling it up. Hang on. So if you want to add me, my player ID number is 3410207-591. So,
and that's which?
It's a game called War of the Visions Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. It's an online mobile game. It plays kind of like a mix between Final Fantasy and Fire Emblem.
Cool.
And the costumes are really pretty.
I'm installing it now.
Yeah!
Because I need more games to not do my regular work.
Yes! You should join our guild, too. Our guild is called the Kingsglaive.
Oh, fantastic.
That's amazing.
Which is totally not a Final Fantasy 15 reference.
No, not at all.
I couldn't tell.
Like,
I couldn't tell.
Completely ripped.
But yeah, so that's been kind of my fun, relaxing thing, because it's one of those gacha games where you can just kind of like mindlessly level up your characters and do cute battles and stuff like that. And you can do little raids against other teams and work together with other people, and that's my human interaction.
I love it.
Oh, sorry, I have to like geek out about all these things I've been playing and doing because I've had no one to geek out about. I started a series, it's actually on Netflix, it's called The Untamed. It's a Chinese drama, like historical drama, and it's actually really interesting because it's based on a BL novel, so I was very shocked to hear they were making a drama out of it in China, who is like not terribly known for their tolerance and acceptance of others. But well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But it's really beautiful. The costumes are gorgeous. The like relationships in it are really subtle. And like I was reading a thing afterwards about like, here's all these things they slipped in the censorship so you didn't know, and I'm like, oh, they're basically married if you look at it that way. But anyway,
Cool.
It's really cool. And then there's an anime called, I'm going to butcher the name absolutely because I don't know anything about Chinese pronunciation, but I think it's called Modao Zushi. And there's also a graphic novel and a book, and I've fallen deep into this rabbit hole. I'm definitely not planning a cosplay on it. No.
I definitely have jumped into the anime hole as well because as you know, Pannon, I have been watching
I'm so excited!
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yes!
And I finished Arc 3 a little while ago.
Yes! Another convert! Yes!
And I decided I needed to give myself a break. So I thought,
sorry, I feel like a JoJo missionary. Like, come into the fold. Have you heard about our Lord and Savior Joseph Joestar?
Oh no! So I took a break and I decided I'm going to continue watching anime. And I heard that Attack on Titan is going to be doing their 4th and final season soon.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
I'm so excited.
So I'm halfway through season 2 right now, and I had to walk away from that one. But I keep finding myself going, I should start JoJo soon. I should start JoJo soon. Because I'm getting real annoyed with Attack on Titan. Because one of my least favorite writing things is like, okay, so here's all this rising action. Also, 5 years ago, this thing happened, and that's going to relate to this thing.
Oh man!
I would rather go through the long form of the journey of experiencing it chronologically and not like, well, this feels irrelevant, and then be rewarded at the end of it all of like, oh my gosh, remember that time that Eren and Misaka and Armin, they were all doing this thing? Because then it's rewarding your your audience for paying attention and staying clued in. But that's the comic trades side of me talking. I apologize.
No, that's cool. No, that's actually what I love about the Untamed, is because it starts with the ending and then it shows you how it got there. So like you start and you see like one of the characters dies and there's a big war happening, and like these characters that you don't know anything about are all fighting, and you're like, what? And then it cuts to a flashback, and the whole series is the flashback that shows how it gets to that point. So it's really cool, because I was like, wait, I remember these people are friends. Something bad's going to happen. so it's really good.
It works better because now, like, I'm in season 2, I'm like, okay, I know that this character is the bad guy because of these things, and I can't feel the same connection. Whereas if I grew watching these characters and like, man, I really connect with that Annie. Annie's so great. Oh man, Reiner's so good. Oh, Aaron.
Oh no.
You know.
Yeah.
Oh, my feels. Why would you do that?
Exactly.
Yeah. I've been following the manga on that one, so I'm way behind on the anime. But it's taken some really interesting turns. I'll just say that. It's gone some places.
I'm definitely really curious how the final season will turn out.
I'm curious, but at this point I'm getting frustrated with it because it's just like, stop with the flashbacks. Just get to the main plot. What's happened?
Yeah. Well, how about you, Mercedes? What shows or games have you been playing and watching?
I've been watching Star Trek Last Generation.
Nice.
I love Picard, and I'm actually trying to watch or Next Generation, not Last Generation. Oh my god. Wow.
I wasn't even going to call you on it.
Same.
Wow, my brain was like, what did you just do? Well, my brain called myself on it. So, Next Generation, so that I can watch the new Picard series, but I have to get through all the seasons first, and I'm like near the end of season 5.
Nice.
Oh man, we actually just watched an episode. I really loved it. There's an episode that we watched called iBorg.
Ooh.
So it was kind of like iRobot, but iBorg.
Right.
It was so good. Is
that the one with Hugh?
Yes! It's an
important episode.
Oh. Yeah, I figured it's important. They freaking gave him individuality. Oh man, I freaking loved that episode.
That was actually Next Generation is one of the reasons that I can confidently say my wife fell in love with me, because there's an episode called Darmok and Jalad, and it's about a race of people that can only recite, analogies and stories to each other, kind of like how we quote television or memes to each other.
That was such a good episode.
And at one point, when Kaylin and I were dating, I said, Z said something to the effect of like Darmok and Jalad, and I replied, Shaka, when the walls fell, Timba with his arms wide. And like, that was just Kaylin's moment of like, I love him.
That's so cute.
That's amazing.
Sorry to steal your thunder, Mercedes.
No, that's so good.
I really enjoyed watching that, because watching this series, because the first season, everyone is just so good and pristine, but later on I like that they start introducing these conflicts, and it's like constructive conflict, because in iBorg, Picard and Guinan have opposing views on something, and it flip-flops as their interpretations of Hugh, change throughout the episode. Because, Picard does raise his voice at one point, but he stops right afterwards. They don't, argue and yell at each other, and it's, angry and never gets resolved or things like that. They calmly will talk their points of view to each other, and they actually try to understand each other, even though they don't agree with the other person. And I don't know, it's just really refreshing to see that. And I've enjoyed that. I've also, on the opposite end of the spectrum, watched The Bachelor.
Oh no.
Which is not any of that. Just fighting and odd drama and stage drama, and I don't know, sometimes watching garbage TV is fun too, so Oh yeah, did we lose Pannon?
There you are.
There you are.
You guys just fine, and I was like commenting along like, yeah, that's great, like feeling like The Bachelor and watching garbage Netflix like The Tiger King.
Oh man,
I won't even touch Tiger King, I'm sorry.
No, I've just seen all the memes for it.
I've seen it. I watched it all.
Oh no.
Don't judge me.
I won't judge you. I won't judge you if you watch it. It's just not for me.
My friend did this like crossover where they did the people that are in Tiger King but as JoJo's characters, and their stand is like a tiger. Yes, look up Sonia Winecoop because her art is amazing and she's so funny. But yeah, she did some really good ones.
Nice. So we've covered like stuff that we've been watching to kind of like de-stress. Has there been any activities
Yes.
that you've tried to get yourself to do to help kind of de-stress during this time?
So
go ahead, Pannon.
Oh, sure. So the nice thing about where I work is like you can be on a call and you can still be doing an activity as long as it's not distracting you from the call. So you can do like hand sewing or like knitting or crochet or whatever. Some people are doing those like little rhinestone puzzles where you just fill them in like a cross stitch.
Yeah, those are cool.
So like the funny thing is like this was actually before the stay at home stuff and before I even knew this was going to happen. But I had started picking up like arts and craft kits every time I went out, just so I had something to do like while I'm sitting in front of my computer, because I work way better when I have something for my hands to do while I'm at. Yeah. So I have been making just like little craft kits. I got one of those little Japanese poppin' cooking things where you like make little tiny fake food. I got a dream catcher kit, so I made myself a little dream catcher. Aww. I got I've been doing a lot of Sudoku because I don't need to like I can turn off my brain and just like fill in the puzzles. I even got like some of those like little kids coloring and activity books, and I will just like sit there and fill them out and kind of like zone out except for the transcribing part of the calls I'm on. So I can be coloring or whatever and not like thinking about the really heavy stuff that's going on in the calls. And that way it's a little retreat for my brain.
No, that sounds nice.
Yeah. So I did. Oh, and I also got this really cute like beginner's tarot card set. And it has like the biggest thing that I've struggled with that is like, I can never remember what cards mean what. So I have to like have the book next to me and like, okay, put down a card. Okay, I got to look up the card. And this one actually has the meanings printed on the card. So like I'll put down the card and it'll be like, okay, these are some of the meanings. And you can go into the book and it gives you a more in-depth explanation. But it's really good for helping you like memorize what the cards are and what the possible meanings can be. Mm-hmm. So for me, like it's almost like flashcards.
Nice.
And, yeah. I mean, it's really nice. The first reading I did was like, what's the like past, present, future one where you just do 3 cards. Mm-hmm. And it was like the worst possible thing. So it was like,
oh no.
Like past was like, okay, well you got like through some like self-discovery and hard times and now things are going to get worse and then it's going to be even worse. And I was like, oh, and then it has. Oh. So this was before the earthquake and everything. So I was like, oh, good. Oh, I'm glad they work. So, and I also had a friend who was doing like free tarot card reading on Facebook, but she would just like pull a card Like, you ask a question and she'd pull a card and she'd be like, you got this card, which means this and this and this, and stay home and wash your hands. And every single fortune would be like, and this and this and this, and stay home and wash your hands. And I was like, that's good. That's good.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So those are some of the, like, I don't know, having like little tiny crafts that aren't necessarily super investing a lot of time in has helped me, because I can kind of jump from one to the other if I'm like getting, I don't know, stale, not feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of those people that likes to have backups of my backups of my backups. So if I have like, I bring like 5 things to work, and I'll be like, okay, if I get tired of working on this, I can work on this. And if I get tired of that, I can work on that. And if I feel like working on this, I can work on this. And I know we call that ADHD, but that's how I'm managing my stress. And it helps me to feel less like crazy anxious when I know that I have like things that I can control that are around me, I guess. Like,
yeah.
Like, I can control how entertained I am. I can control how much I'm thinking about certain like difficult topics, and if I need a if I need a distraction, I can. If I need a distraction, I can go to the ones that I've planned ahead of time. So, yeah, that has helped me have a small iota of control, and that kind of like helps me out. Sorry, that went on kind of long.
No, you're good. I love it.
Yeah.
So
how about you, David?
Since I don't have to drive into work, and it's usually about an hour drive. Yeah. Normally that's the time when I listen to podcasts and I kind of get into like the headspace for work, or I get into the headspace of home. And one of the things that I'm trying to do is just be more active around the house. So I will be proactive about doing the dishes. I will spend that hour commute basically doing laundry, putting things away, prepping things. I spent today vacuuming my entire upstairs.
Nice.
And it wasn't just like, oh, let me just do this real quick. I moved everything out of the way, and I vacuumed, and I changed all the attachments so I can get the corners, and I got deferred my couch because I have so many cats.
Oh wow.
And that's just one of the things that I'm trying to do to keep myself like more, I don't want to say distracted, but kind of at peace. You know,
nice.
You have a kind of a clean space to return to. Then I can come upstairs after my 9 to 5, and then sit down and like, okay, now I do some cleaning and I get dinner ready. My wife Kaylin is still working and is interacting with people, so we're trying to like make sure that we stay on top of laundry pretty consistently.
Right.
And since we're cooking from home a lot more, that means that there's always more dishes to be done. So yeah, I think just one of the things that I'm doing is just trying to keep myself active and busy in my house, and that kind of helps keep my mind at busy. Mercedes, what do you do?
I was going to say, I've got a little bit of advice to add on top of that. Like, if you find yourself having a hard time, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought. So sometimes if you're having a hard time, like getting yourself started on stuff, and like the pile of laundry just looks daunting, and it's making you feel guilty, and then you start going in this downward spiral that I often get in, where it's like, well, I haven't done it, so, blah, blah, blah. And it just gets daunting, and you just end up not doing it ever.
Sure.
Tell yourself, I'm just going to do laundry for 10 minutes. Or 5 minutes even, just or like sometimes when I'm walking around and I see it's like, okay, the living room is kind of messy, I'm just gonna spend 10 minutes on it, just 10 minutes, and that can sometimes get you started and moving, even if it's not like the living room or your laundry that you end up working on that day. It can get you moving and working on other things. It just gets you started.
Definitely. Yeah, that's usually how I get going when I need to like work on cosplay things, is I'm like, okay, I just need to sew this one seam. I just need to pin this. Once I'm only going to get that far, and that's fine. And then I'll end up like working on it much longer than that. But it's the way I get into the headspace of like, okay, well, you don't need to invest hours, but just do this much today.
Yeah. And like, if you're feeling, stressed, it's okay that like, okay, you got one thing done. That's great.
Yeah. On that note, actually, I have a fun story to share. So I have loved that there have been so many people enthusiastic about making masks. Right now, it's not something that like I can mentally handle taking on that responsibility.
Sure.
But I have a ton of crafting supplies, and there is a shortage of elastic and fabric and whatever else. So I actually joined this Facebook group that is like within my local community that's like people who are sharing and trading and organizing supplies during the pandemic. And I was like, I have a roll of like 80 yards of elastic. Who needs some? And I spent one of my Saturdays just like, I went to this parking lot, opened up the back of my car, and I was just handing them out to people.
Oh, wow.
Who came around because they were working on like kits for people. And I was like, I don't have the brain to do it, but I have supplies.
Yeah.
So just like sharing my hoarded supplies was helpful. And it made me feel a lot better because I was like, this is going to, and I mean, I even had like gloves and my face mask on while I'm giving them out to people and like scrubbing my hands between handling stuff.
Yeah.
But it gave me a little like, even though I wasn't doing the work, I was still able to contribute. So if you're not feeling up to it, that's okay. Like, look for other ways you can pitch in. It doesn't have to be like giant heroic stuff. Sometimes it's just what you can handle.
Yeah.
And the really cute part was, like, not everybody, but like a couple of the ladies who reached out to me were like, is there anything you need? And I was like, well, actually, like, haven't been able to run to the grocery store, so I don't have like these things. And they brought me like so many, like I got toilet paper, I got noodles, I got rice, I got like canned goods. And I was super happy because I was super low on everything and nobody was stocking it. So, well, they were stocking it like crazy.
Yeah.
I don't want to say they aren't stocking it, but nobody had it when I got there. So it was like a lifesaver for me in return. And it was really sweet that like, I felt like I wasn't even giving that much and they were giving me something awesome.
Yeah. And they probably felt like it was just like Pannon's donating all this stuff. This is their hard-earned money. How can I repay that?
Yeah. So it was really cool. And it made me like remember that there are good people and that we like the news just is so easy to get into this mindset of like everyone is terrible and I hate the world and I hate people.
It comes back
and it's
to
like
Mr.
little
Rogers.
things like that.
Yeah, it comes back to Mr. Rogers where it's like, look for the helpers. Your brain will feel so much better once you start looking for the people who are helping and realizing that there's more of them out there than the news portrays.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Like it definitely like helped my belief in humanity as a whole because I was like, oh, look at like everybody's coming together to do nice things for each other and like we can help each other and we don't have to like fight over supplies. We can share and everybody can have some, you know? And so it was a good experience. So I wanted to share one positive.
It's great. I love it.
Yay. So yeah.
One of my ways that I've used when, like, I'm a night owl, and so staying up late is comfortable for me to do, and I've kind of allowed myself on certain days to do that. And what I do is that, like, when it reaches the end of the day and I'm feeling just really stressed, I've actually started a Discord server where myself and others are drawing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I called it Art Buddies.
No, that's so cool. Like, not to like cut you off, but I appreciate stuff like that so much. Like, because I don't have any creativity cells available right now. So like watching other people and like doing art and watching streams and stuff, it makes me feel so much better. So I hope the people like you that are hosting them also get to like feel good about that because you are brightening our days.
Aw. I hope so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've really like it's just been a nice like relief for me. I think I've only had like 2 or 3 people on at a time with me. And like we've got like a chat channel kind of thing where we can chat with each other and take turns sharing our screens if, multiple people are doing art. We just talk about whatever's coming to our minds. I've got a bot that plays music. I usually just pick whatever, or when my brother's on, he picks some really good music. But anybody can add to the music stream with the bot. And then there's a typing chat. Oh my gosh, I can't words today.
That's okay.
It's not a voice chat. It's one where you're just typing, but it's where everybody can share.
Hey, David, can you edit that out? hey, David.
Hey, David.
Can you edit that?
I got you, boo.
Sorry, David.
One of these days, I'm going to find all of them.
Good. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Mercedes.
Whatever. No, just kidding.
Sorry, Mercedes.
But yeah, so
that's good. Like, I'm glad it's a good outlet for both you and the people watching you, because we need creativity right now, and it's also really hard to come by. Like, so many creatives I know are just tapped right now. So it's good to be able to like see things that are rejuvenating.
Yeah, the last time that I did it, I was working on a coloring page. I'm doing a digital birthday party. As I'm gonna be Link, my sister's gonna be Zelda for it, and it's so that the little girl can ask us questions, and I'm really excited for it. But I also did a coloring page of Link and Zelda from Breath of the Wild, done Wind Waker style. I'll have to send it to you guys. I'm kind of proud of it.
Please do.
Yeah.
But like, I also shared it in the Discord, because as I was drawing it, one person was like, "Can I color that?" And I was like, "Oh, heck yes!" So I think I might try doing more like coloring pages and see if anybody just wants to like pick them up and color them and share them in the group.
Yeah, totally.
Like, coloring something doesn't take a whole bunch of brain power, and it's usually really relaxing. Like, I've got those coloring books where it's just coloring books for adults.
I love those.
I love them. And so, people could do that if they wanted. It's all real low key, low maintenance, low commitment kind of group.
Like I said, like that kind of stuff is exactly what keeps me sane when I'm taking calls and stuff all day. Like, I love having little coloring books, I went out and bought 30 glitter gel pens. Well, I didn't. It happened to be at the store I was at for groceries, so don't get mad at me. But there was 30 colored glitter gel pens, and I was like, I'm an adult who needs these right now. So yeah, like being able to do little things like that is really nice.
Oh my gosh, I've also done retail therapy.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of money to spend. Because things are tight, but I did allow myself to get I got a new dice rolling mat.
Nice.
Nice.
I am going to plug these guys because I love them. Die Hard Dice, I love them. They're amazing.
Oh, I've seen theirs. Yeah.
I sent them a letter saying it's like, yeah, my mental health is just kind of like in the dumps, and I'm supposed to be the emotional support half orc of the group. So I was like, I'm buying, this. I got their blank dice scroll that they have. Because I want to actually draw my own artwork on it. Probably gonna use my like wood burning tool or something on it to like put my own artwork onto it, and then
that's really cool.
Use that as a way to like de-stress. And they sent like a cute little handwritten letter, and they blessed my dice, and it was super, super cute.
That is cool.
Yeah, so I mean, if you want a cute handwritten letter, that's another thing I want to do. I want to send letters to people. I've got a bunch of stamps that I've not really ever used, and so that's one of the other things that I'm going to be trying to do is send letters to like my friends and gifts and stuff.
I love the idea of supporting creative folks right now.
Yes.
Like artists, dice makers, crafters, etc., because like so much of all these small businesses have been struggling so hard. So if you're in a position where you can, like, I have a friend who's just been commissioning like a bunch of artists because they're able to, and they know that they need that support right now. So it's really cool.
I know someone else who's doing even just like art trades just to keep their creative juices flowing and be able to show off to be like, look, I just did this trade with this person, check out their art. And it helps promote them that way.
Nice.
Yeah. Community, guys.
Yay. Cool. Well, do we have any positivity we want to send out into the world before we wrap up today?
I had one more thing. Sorry.
Yeah.
This actually showed up on Reddit today.
Sorry.
On the subreddit Life Pro Tips. This was by user Mew Brew. Mew as in like the Pokemon Mew is what it looks like. So their life pro tip was think of everything you do as progress. Sent someone a meme, you progressed your relationship. Drew a doodle, you progressed your art skill. Took a bath, you progressed your mental health. Life is a bank, and anytime you do anything that brings you joy, you're earning.
Nice. I really like that. That's really good.
Yeah, I saw that and immediately screenshotted it and was like, that's perfect.
No, that's great. Like, I'm digging so much positivity online. I don't have the mental capacities to put it out there myself, but I have been really like craving and enjoying and loving all these people putting positivity out there.
Yeah. This is, again, a rough time that we're all going through, and seeing people in the community band together and help each other out has been incredibly inspiring to see and rejuvenating.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think the last thing that I really want to end on is it sucks right now. Like there's just no and if or buts about it. It just sucks. And sometimes hearing some people say like, we're going to make it through this is more frustrating than not. I have a weekly staff meeting with the CEO of my company, and he says, we're going to get through this at the end of every meeting. And it just makes my stomach turn. And it makes me just more uncomfortable. And I think everyone needs to know you're allowed to sit with those feelings.
Yes.
You're allowed to feel like it might not be okay. We may not get through this, and what we do get through is probably not going to be the same when we get out of it. I back to Attack on Titan. There's a character Haynes. All the names are German, but none of them are pronounced Germanic. So, so very first episode, you meet him, and he's a drunk guy, and he just loves these three kids. You know, the three main characters of the story. And in season 2, he goes up to them, and he's like, "I am fighting so hard so we can go back to those days." And the thing is that we can't go back to those days. Knowing what we know now, what we've experienced, Aaron and his group can't go back to those days where they're just kids in the alleyway screwing around. Things are going to change. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be frustrating. But the thing that I think that we need to focus on is that we're going to get through it. It's that you are not alone. You are not alone. A lot of people aren't listening to podcasts as much because they aren't traveling or they aren't driving. But I listen to those podcasts, and that gives me a sense of social fulfillment. So if you can, listen to another episode of a podcast or something and allow yourself to feel kind of connected to other people for a while. Because again, we're all trying to get through this together, regardless of whether we're doing this together or not. I'm much more introverted than everybody else is. I just lurk on the Facebook page, and I like that. That's good. So don't feel like, one, you're obligated to interact or work harder. You can continue doing what you need to do to survive, and you're not alone. If you need support, let any of us know, or just reach out to the Facebook page. Mercedes and Pannon have been tremendously fantastic, reaching out to me every time that there is an earthquake.
Are you okay, David?
Yeah, I have made it clear and been vulnerable. It's not easy for me to just openly say I am not okay to my dear friends, because I want to be the emotional support orc.
Totally.
And I want to be there and I want to be able to provide, but also you can't provide for others if you're not taking care of yourself. So having even just that small little bit has made every earthquake a little bit more manageable. So thank you, you guys. And also, you have a support network, dear listener. You are not alone. The Facebook group is here for you. The three of us are here for you. We're more than happy to chat with you.
Yeah. I was listening back, I guess, on our 2020 resolutions episode. And it's just a very different place there. But I did not realize at the time that the theme I wanted to pick for this year about being the positive change you want to see in your community would be quite as dire as it feels now. And I still believe that, like, we want to be that positivity, but remember that starts with you, and you need to be able to take care of you, like you were saying, you can't like pour from an empty pitcher. You know, you have to be able to have some part of yourself before you go giving to others. So just remember to take care of yourselves, and that, like, being a positive change can just mean that you are in a positive place, that you are doing better for yourself, and that's okay. So yeah, I really like everything everybody shared today. Too.
Thank you for sharing.
This has actually like been very therapeutic for me too, just to like get it out there and be like, yeah, let's talk about this. This is not good, but yeah, it's okay. I don't want to be like, we're gonna be okay, David, but we're gonna get through this. But it has been very helpful to get to talk to and share. Yeah. So I guess on that note, if you guys want to share some of your stories with us, we could use positivity right now if you want to put it out there. But if you also want to just share funny horror stories, things like that, we would love those too. You can send those to us at cosplaystitchandseam@gmail.com or
on the website cosplaystitchandseam.com.
Or our Facebook group, Cosplay Stitch and Seam. Make sure you join the group and not just the page, because the page we only post our blog stuff and our episodes, but we do our work in progress Wednesdays in the group itself.
Yay!
So we do have a cosplay horror story from Claudia. They sent this one in back in March, actually. I feel a little guilty. But I don't know, we've had a backlog of stuff, so I'm glad we were able to get to this one. So Claudia says, in light of recent events, I decided to share a hygiene medical themed cosplay horror story that happened to me a while back. Hope you have a good laugh, because I totally had it coming because I was an idiot. My boyfriend and I finally made the long, expensive trip to San Jose, to a San Jose convention that I always wanted to attend. Because the check-in for our hotel wasn't until 3 p.m., I had to get into my cosplay, a gender-bent noise from
Dramatical Murder?
Yes. They just had...
Don't judge me for knowing that one. Don't look it up.
Anyways, got into the cosplay in the women's restroom. I was struggling to put on every little accessory, wig, and makeup with only a pocket mirror and no help.
That's hard.
Yeah. I've always had trouble putting on contacts, but today I was growing frustrated that they kept slipping to the point that I just shoved them in because it had nearly been an hour and I had no time to keep wussing out.
Oh, no.
My eyes stung a bit, as they usually do, but then the pain resided, and I carried on having a great day at the convention. As soon as we checked in, I removed the contacts because my vision was slightly blurry, my nose was runny, and I had a headache. Figured it was just jet lag.
Oh no.
And the next morning, I woke up completely white... white and translucent right eye. I can't say that.
Oh.
Yeah, that's scary.
Oh no.
I must have attempted waking up several times because I did not want to believe that I lost 89% of my eyesight.
Oh my gosh.
Tried washing it with water, and it was one of the second most excruciating pains I've ever felt. The rest of my con consisted of a $40 Uber trip back and forth to hospitals, clinics, and being bedridden, wheelchaired, and lots of crying. Turns
Yeah.
out I got
No.
corneal ulcers, a cut in the word I can't pronounce, sclera?
Solera, yeah.
Yeah.
From a combination of carelessly brushing the contact and dirt and bacteria touching the contact and my eye.
Oh no.
Had I not
Oh, no.
gone to the ER sooner, the infection would have spread and damage would have been irreversible. So
Oh man.
I'm glad that they got there in time.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah.
So I was so traumatized, I threw out about $200 worth of beautiful cosmetic contacts. It just took that incident to never mess with contacts ever again. Needless to say,
That's
I was
fair.
mortified facing the doctors that I kept my story to. I wore a contact incorrectly when it really was. I tried forcing a green cosmetic contact at the local convention for cosplay with dirty makeup covered hands, even though the contact clearly said, "No, girl."
Oh no. Oh
The
man.
moral of the story, always wash your hands and practice extreme care when handling your cosplay contacts.
Hey, it relates back. Wash your hands.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wash your hands. It's very important. Oh man,
Yeah.
Cautionary tales.
Yeah,
Scary.
cautionary tale. This person doesn't wear contacts or glasses because their vision's okay.
Mhm.
But so that meant that, they weren't properly trained in putting contacts in and out and stuff like that. So it's a good cautionary tale, especially for those who aren't trained in how to use contacts.
Yeah.
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 Very good.
For
sure. Guys, I feel like an old geezer. I have to get glasses soon.
Oh no.
Oh no. I say to two people who have worn them most of their lives.
I know.
I can't
I'm
even
like,
do contacts. It freaks me out. And then pulling the contact out of your eyeball? No. Mm-mm.
Aw.
No.
Aw.
I don't mind taking it out. Putting it in is hard.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. I am very, obsessively, it must be pristine clean before it gets anywhere near my eye.
Yeah.
I'll just sit there in the bathroom and, clean it and run run solution over it, and yeah. Yeah. Oof, be careful with your eyeballs.
Yeah. You only get the two.
Yeah.
Yes.
You did that.
Less.
We're not in Ghost of the Shell universe yet, Pannon.
Dang it.
Trust me, I am first in line for new legs. I need new knees.
Hey, in Naruto, they just pull them out of people's faces and put them in other ones like they're light bulbs.
Oh, is that how that works?
I don't know. They just kind of pull them out and then they'll pop them into somebody else. It's that easy. Of course, it's that easy.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Yeah. So on that note, take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. Be that positivity, even if it's just being positive and helping yourself. Take some time. Don't beat yourself up, especially I don't know, I spent this whole episode being I'm not in a creative place right now, guys. I'm sorry.
You're not alone. You're not alone in how you feel.
So it's okay to take time and heal and just it's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, my allergies are gonna kill me. Ah!
Oh no.
Stop.
All right, you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
I was gonna say
Bye.
bye, guys.
We love you.
Much love.